Hey everyone, welcome back to more of the Pale Beyond. I'm Disturbing Puppet, so we're now into week 18. Things are getting rather desperate. We do have a decent number of penguins because we sent out a hunting team last time, but still only got me to 8. We kind of need 9 for fuel and 5 for food, so we need like a minimum of 14 pretty much every day to kind of keep going, unless we have other resources. Yeah, definitely a problem. We might be doomed. We can burn the last of the ale for a little bit more in the furnace, but that's really about it. How are we doing? We've got a lot of freezing people, so we can't really risk sending them out to do anything. One person with frostbite, we can deal with that right away. Yeah, it's looking a bit rough here, I would have to say. Yeah, and you got freezing too. I do need more research, is the problem. If we want to do like an elephant seal hunt, which was going to require this week and next week doing a bunch of research, but I don't know if that's going to be doable. We may be doomed here in the long run. Alright, let's check out what Hammond has to say. Damn that Grips. Man was always worrying, always saying something bad was going to happen to him. Pisses me off and he was right. Shit. So they're talking about the people who are dead when those things pop up there. So here's our giant pile of penguins, which is kind of keeping us going, but we can only have, like, I can grab a penguin and I can send 3 other people to grab penguins here, but that's it. So I can just grab one. So that's kind of a freebie. But we can only grab the 3, which is very unfortunate. So we can also hunker down for the winter. Hammond's got something he wants to talk about. What are we waiting around for, Captain? Can't keep up like this much longer. Winter's coming in. We better cover up before the cold takes us. But I felt like we were moving the camp if we do that. We do have the supply here, but we're going to run out of fuel super quick. And like I said, I might have to disable decorum losses because once we aren't fully heating and feeding everybody, decorum's going to drop. Listen in here. Got Nutley and Templeton. Mr. Templeton, would you happen to know if Kurt has any children of his own? I believe he does. Several. I understand his older son is a lecturer of natural histories at Granford. Why do you ask? Well, I notice he tends not to mention any family. It's hardly either of our business, Doctor. Right. Apologies for my curiosity. Alright, before we do anything, we have somebody with frostbite to deal with. So, I think it was just the one. Yeah, people are freezing cold, but not actually developing frostbite. So people we keep around the base is fine. So yeah, you go ahead and rest. We can only treat 3 people. So if we have more than 3 people with frostbite, that means people die. But maybe people dying is a good thing at this point? I'm not sure. Alright. I don't see that we have any requests, which is interesting. Okay, here we do. It's not highlighted. Alright, maybe there aren't actually any. Last week there weren't any, so it was pretty quick. So what we need to do is... I do need to get research. I really need research so we can do an elephant seal hunt. We also could do some scouting. But I need to save, 3 people around. I'm not sure if doing stuff in the camp is going to cause people to develop frostbite from freezing. But we'll try to avoid sending anybody with freezing outside of the camp. That's kind of the idea. So we have research we can do. There's vacant penguin nests. There's blue ice. There's algae in the green ice. We have some scouting we can do as well. Let's go ahead and scout here. Okay, little tiny penguins. That's unfortunate because they aren't going to provide us with much. Send my other scout who's fine. check this other relatively close one. Yeah, it's these little Adele penguins that really aren't very good. Really only for food is all they're good for. So again, I just want to double check. Need 30. We could do emperor penguins, but we have a bunch at the moment. So I'm not so sure about that. I'd like to save it for the elephant seals, because I feel like once we do this, we burn the research. So let's investigate some algae. You two are fine, so we can send you out. We could go ahead and send him and hope that we can deal with him developing frostbite if other people are doing stuff around the base and don't. So we'll do that. Zach, Gloss, and Gloss are headed out. Does give me some decorum, which might help keep things going a little bit. We could do some hunting. But my priority is mainly doing this, getting more penguins out. That's all we're going to do outside of the base. We can assign 3 people to do penguin duty. So we could have the remaining 3 just not do anything. Depending on the requests. Any requests? Nope. Okay. So things are going a bit faster now. There's just not many events and things going on anymore. I think they want me to kind of hunker down on the camp, and that's sort of what we're supposed to be doing. Alright, we want people in good shape who are not freezing to collect penguins, because I'm not sure if it's safe or not. So you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. But I don't think that's enough. We might have to go either less food or less fuel here today. And that's even if we burn some ale for fuel. So I'm a bit worried about the decorum. We have picked up some decorum, though. So possibly we're okay? I'm not sure. Let's find out. She needs fuel for the week. Yeah, so if we do this, we still need 44. So that's 25, 31, 37, 43. So we have to burn that many if we want to keep going. That does leave me enough for food. But we're exhausting our Emperor Penguin supply here. I don't really have a lot of choice at the moment. So that'll be good. We do have the 3. Like, we could send people out. Worst case scenario. Put you in the medical tent, right? Yeah, I think Gnomes is there. So I have 2. 3. Four people with freezing. Now we've got frostbite being dealt with. We have somebody with freezing is going out doing stuff. So there should be 3 more. So potentially we have 1 person who's going to get frostbite for sure. Worst case scenario, all 4 do. I was just thinking if we want to send We could send a couple people out hunting. And as long as the person who doesn't leave camp recovers from freezing, we'll have 3 people with frostbite and we can treat all 3 the next day. But that way we could send 2 people out hunting to collect at least some additional food, although these are kind of useless for anything except food. I wish we were getting fish every day. I thought for sure we were going to be getting fish once we dug that hole, but it was only just the 1 week we got some fish. That was it. So things are pretty darn desperate, honestly. Anything here? Nope, she's not inside. Yeah, I feel like I might want to try to risk it to send 2 people out hunting. I wonder if I'm just running with a higher population than normal at this point. Like most people have a bunch of people who've died already, and that's why it's a bit more sustainable with these. Because I feel like we did everything we could to get resources out of the ship pretty effectively, but yeah, it's really gone to hell here since we've set in. So if I get 3 more research, we'll go to 28. So I need another week to do 2 for research, so then the week after we can hunt elephant seals. Yeah, I don't know if we'd lock down, like if we can't send teams out to hunt anymore. Once we lock down, I'm assuming that's it. This is all we have. But they kind of made it sound like we'd be moving if we do that, and that means leaving behind all of our penguin resources. We could just not feed people. That wouldn't exactly make people happy. What would you rather have, a hot meal or heat? For the moment, we're okay. But things are basically screwed here for next week. For sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure what happens if we lock down. Like, it says lock down camp, prepare for winter, but I feel like that means, they said before, moving to another location. I know I keep saying that, but that's got to take resources and time. So let's go ahead and end the week here. Dinner shared, stories are traded. So hopefully we'll be okay. We didn't send people out, so hopefully all 3 of them are going to recover from freezing. Alright, up here. Who do we have talking? Cordell and Hammond, I think? Hammond. Winter's here. Yes, the pack are eager to move to a new location. I'm afraid we'll be staying put for quite a while. Just hoping they can sit still for a few months. My dogs will manage. The crew, I have some faith they will as well. I'm worried about how our equipment keeps more than anything. More so than the crew themselves? Losing our equipment dooms us all, your dogs included. Practical mind, it is rather appreciated. I thought you'd understand. Yeah, I wonder if maybe we should have moved. Maybe we could have some better hunting grounds. Like, things might be doomed here. We might have to go back and make some time adjustments, but I feel like no matter what, we're kind of screwed here. Closing up for winter soon, I understand. Aye. Something on your mind, Stoke? They're still out there, somewhere. You have to let them go eventually, lad. We'll see. Yeah, Grimley still thinks Hunt and the other people who left earlier are somewhere on the ice doing something. Oi, Junior. What is it, Runt? Crew were talking about us hiding under some canvas all winter. Is that true? We'll need to soon. Can't let ourselves get swallowed up in the snow. We've enjoyed the summer as long as we can. Do we really have to? Not looking forward to waiting around in the cold, huh? No, I can. It's just, do we really have to? Yes, we do. Okay. Yeah, it seems like we're at this point, it might be too late based on the conversations we're hearing. Yorick. We've been preparing for winter all afternoon. How fares your engineers? Dick gives a silent nod. Good to hear. Here's to the cold being kind. Mr. Darling, it seems some of the crew have been curious regarding your family. Oh, is that so? That was your eldest. I recall him beginning to work at Granford while I had one foot out the door. Henry has been having a whale of a time. Last I heard, he was beginning to settle down, start a family. Perhaps he already has. I should speak to him once we return. Something to look forward to. Captain, I've been looking over the contracts, and I feel an update should be made to your own. Your work has far exceeded your pay scale as first mate. Once you return to land, I will arrange it so that you receive Hunt's promised pay in addition to your own. Yeah, I mean, this would be nice. Like, we could divide it, even I could take a share, and then everyone else could go. But I could always do that myself personally once I get the money in hand. I'm not sure how we're going to survive this. Thank you, Templeton. It's rather considerate of you. I disagree. It's only fair that you be compensated appropriately. I see no reason to do otherwise. Okay, we do have some stuff here. Doctor, did you happen to have a hobby of collecting insects as a child? As a matter of fact, I did. I grew up by the countryside, so I often prowled the forests before and after school. The prize of my collection was a stag beetle. I would show it off to anyone who inquired. Sadly, they only lived for 7 years, just as I was growing out of the pastime. But why do you ask? No reason. I just had a suspicion. You seemed the sort. I know better than to ask for elaboration. Before I joined this expedition, I was concerned with how my report would be received. I'm certain the wreck makes for a more interesting story. But before that, it feels like interest in the great explorers is waning. Then why'd you take the story? Well, interest wasn't waning with me. I grew up on these tales. Don't know where I'd be without them. Others may not care these days, but they stick with me. I hope another child latches onto this story. Captain, there's something I want to ask of you. Something difficult. If I don't make it back to land, someone will have to tell my family. Face to face, not through a letter from the benefactor. And I want it to come from someone I trust. Could you? Of course, as captain, it would be my duty. It's not your duty as captain. I know you don't have to do that. So, thank you. It would be a great favor. I trust you. Well, I'm starting to second guess my decisions about staying here at this point, but I kind of felt like we didn't really have much choice, especially for leaving the penguins behind. Alright, Grimley doesn't want to talk. Not a big surprise. Hammond doesn't want to talk. Junior doesn't want to talk. Talked to Kurt already. Yeah. So we still can lock down the camp and prepare for winter. Odd. Very odd. We don't have the option to call people to dinner either, which is a bit strange. Since we have some resources, what happens if we lock down the camp and prepare for winter? So 1 crew member are cured of malnourishment, 2 crew members will develop freezing. Doesn't say anyone's cured of freezing, though. We've got normal food, normal fuel. Got some research. Long winter continues. So more people get freezing. Gnomes was cured. 1 frostbite. 2 frostbites, except we can deal with 3. That's 3. That's 4. Yeah, it's weird that we go from like instantly freezing and then frostbite immediately. So somebody's gonna die. We can only treat 3 of the people with frostbite. And that's even with like burning everything we have to keep the heat up. We're just kind of barely holding on. I need those elephant seals to burn for heat. Okay, so we did move to another camp, looks like. Oh, we just got to Act 2. Well, we're dead then. There's no way we're making it that far into the game here. I feel like this game's really hard to successfully get through alive. Like, I feel like we're gonna die, for sure. Captain Shaw, personal log. The crew settled down for the long winter. It'll be many months before the canopy is removed, and further travel across the ice will be a possibility. The crew will be here for quite some time. Winter's long and cold, carries out in complete darkness. One can lose track of the days. The crew will see this as a break from their work. Though the conditions are harsh, the crew find themselves a little work on their hands. Now's the time to hunker down, to wait out the turning of the season. In that respect, the crew may find themselves with a chance for some much-needed rest. The coldest part of the world has now entered its coldest stage. In the winter, even words and time can freeze over. The doctor's likely to have his hands full in the coming month dealing with frostbite among the crew. I only hope the young man is prepared for such a task. Before the winter sets in, the navigator and engineer came to blows in public amongst the crew. Drastic measures were taken in order to put a stop to the conflict. Professional disagreement turning uncivil is not unheard of, particularly in high-pressure situations. Both men still carried out the crew's best interests at heart. Tensions seem to have calmed since the incident. So we have a new... Okay, we do have access to the penguins still. So maybe we don't die, but I think we're gonna die. So we actually have like a canopy over the site, looks like. Oh, we are in a new spot. Okay, interesting. So we moved way out. Like, we don't even see where we were before. That's kind of crazy. There's Orca Island. Yeah, that's nuts. So yeah, we're like... Oh no, it just looks different because the ice is pushed up. So actually, we're near the same location. It's just that now everything's totally different. Yeah, I think we're in trouble, though. The wind here is kind of irritating. Okay. I just kind of want to check on things really quick before we progress. Yeah, we've got 1 penguin. We do have some penguins outside we can grab. We have 2 people with frostbite, so somebody's going to die. That's going to cause some problems. We can treat people and then still do stuff with them. But a lot of people with freezing are going to be kind of screwed here. Alright, yeah, we'll go ahead and end it here, but I feel like now things are going to be a bit rougher in a way. It's kind of an odd setup here, having the whole area covered. And I feel like we're probably going to die. We definitely don't have enough fuel, but we'll see how things progress. Alright, this has been more of The Pale Beyond. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, have a good one.